What's up guys, Brian Phobos here, and today I want to talk about why I think that Electroneum might be the next Dash. Now what do I mean by the next Dash? So let's take a look at Dash right now, $594. And if you would have asked me 2 years ago, if you would have asked me 1 year ago, if you would have asked me 6 months ago, if Dash could get to that price, I would have said, I don't think so. But as time went on, and you really realize what Dash did, it was well played. They deserve a round of applause here. Okay, so what did they do? So let's go back to the lineage. Actually, if you don't know this, Dash was a fork of a coin called Quark. And it's down here, so you can go to mapofcoins.com. And you can see Bitcoin right here, and then you have all these forks. I know, there's a lot of them, right? And a lot of them you haven't heard of. So come down here, there was this SIC coin. We don't hear about that. I never knew anything about that. But then there was this fork Quark. This was actually the first coin that I ever mined. And then from that, there was, anytime a coin had success, there's gonna be a ton of forks of it. So with Quark, it actually got to 6 on CoinMarketCap. It totally went parabolic back in the day, back in 2013. I was literally mining it here when it wasn't worth anything. And I was learning about mining. I was excited. I was like, this is cool. You know, these coins are coming into my wallet. And it was very enjoyable. And then when it went parabolic, it was super exciting. My coins went from being worth about 40 bucks to being worth like 750 bucks. It was crazy, and it was like, wow, you know, I think this coin's gonna go to $3 and all this stuff like that. And then it started this long, painful slide, and basically, and I'm actually surprised it peaked again, but it never regained its top. And if you look at it, ranked 394. So as these coins like fell further and further, they would fall into obscurity. And especially as these ERC20 tokens like sort of took over the front page of CoinMarketCap, it made the situation worse and worse. But it, you know, very interesting. So Quark had 9 rounds of hashing and 6 different algorithms, and then the last 3 rounds were like random amongst those 6 different ones. And then actually Dash was dark coin. So where is it? Here, let's back up. Let's back up to 2013, December 2013. Quark, and you have dark right here. So Dash was dark coin. And during that time, there was a big question about the anonymity of Bitcoin. And so a lot of people, like there was a lot of coins popping out that were touting anonymous transfers because there was blockchain analysis being done on Bitcoins. And so, you know, the anonymous cryptocurrencies kind of popped up there, right there at the end of 2013, beginning of 2014. But anyway, dark coin / Dash had 11 rounds of hashing. But one of the best decisions they made early on was to change the name from dark coin to Dash. Made a ton of sense. And as a marketing, you know, the logo is great. You know, it made a lot of sense. Digital cash, Dash, you know, it's just a really, really good thing. Now Monero came out, you know, it was out there in 2014, and I was one of the original miners for Monero, and it always had a great logo, and I always liked the name because it sounds like money. Monero, money, Dash, digital cash. They actually like both had a lot of good things going for them. Now Dash has a little bit more restricted supply than what Monero had, and then a lot of the money's being locked up in master nodes and stuff like that. So you have a bigger restricted supply with Dash, which can make something more valuable. You see that just in general in marketing. Different luxury brands use restricted supply or limited edition. And then obviously with Bitcoin, there's only gonna be 21 million coins when there's already 16.7 million out. the supply is getting more restricted. People are losing their coins. There's a lot of dust left, you know, when you send coins. So yeah, anyway, let's get to the marketing though of Dash and how that plays into Electroneum and why the marketing becomes so important. And for Electroneum to end up in the top 10, you know, why that's possible just basically through marketing. So let's look at a couple things. So another great thing that Dash did as a marketing ploy is, for one thing, they set aside money that you have proposals, and so there's an incentive for people to market. Amanda B. Johnson used to have a show where she just talked about all kinds of different coins, and it was a general cryptocurrency show. And you know, and then she, I think, submitted a proposal for Dash, and then she became kind of like a spokesperson for Dash. And you know, she's an attractive woman, and let's just be honest, most of the people in the cryptocurrency space are just, you know, nerdy, kind of like geeky IT, you know, computer nerd kind of guys. You know, and I'm included in that. So obviously you see an attractive woman. I think she's hot. You see an attractive woman, and you know, she knows about cryptocurrencies and stuff like that. And I mean, some of these dudes are probably practically in love with her. You know, and that's, you know, it's really effective marketing. Now, Jerry Banfield has done a lot of work on pushing tons of traffic and everything through Google and through Facebook ads. And he had a Dash master node and pushed the hell out of Dash, and it pumped clear up to around 100. He actually sold his Dash master node, and then he actually went all in on Steam. And then you know, so he's probably regretting that because that decision hasn't turned out as well. He went all in on Steam when it was worth around $2, and now it's been hovering around $1. And I understand why he did that, and kind of like mentally why he thought that Steam actually had a brighter future than maybe Dash. But let's say in the minds of people who are non-technical and all that kind of stuff, if you know they go, you know, if they go to it, and you know, I just did a post on Steemit where I saw a Slipstream ad, you know, with this Dash jet, and you know, this advertisement that was playing on YouTube, and they've got the money to do it. They set this money aside to do the marketing. So Electroneum has $40 million that they can market and, you know, work on the code base and stuff like that. So you see a little bit of where, let's say, Dash came from, that it was actually in a way like a clone coin, and it was able to rise to fame. Well, Electroneum is also a clone coin. And when I initially did this article on Steemit, it was like, I didn't know what Electroneum was. I didn't participate in the ICO, none of that. I didn't know what it was. And somebody else on Steemit did a post about it, and I was like, oh, what's this? And then he was saying something about, like, you know, he was trying to mine it or something. And I was like, oh, okay, well, maybe that's something I should look into. Maybe I can mine some on a free cloud server. And got looking into it. And one of the big red flags was the whole simulated mining thing with the cell phones that wasn't out yet. We all know about that. And basically, this is the first thing that came to mind. So over in China, you know, there'll be these 10,000 phones, and you can get Facebook likes and, you know, Twitter likes and stuff like that, and get followers from all these, you know, simulated phones or these phones that are hooked up in series like that. And so immediately that's what I imagine, that somebody's going to game that, and it's not going to work out that well. But then a little bit later, I did see a video from the CEO where they were showing it, and each phone, and it depends how powerful the phone is, it does a quick benchmark. So an older phone will actually benchmark lower. So if you have a new phone, like an iPhone 10 or a Galaxy Samsung, you know, an S8 or something like that, newer phones, they're going to benchmark higher. and you're going to be able to get more coins from those if they get it to work. Now, will this, this scenario with all these phones end up happening still? Maybe, but that itself doesn't rule everything out, because there's already a fairly wide supply. That 120,000 people participated in the ICO, and they raised $40 million. So that's, from everything I'm reading, that's the widest distribution of any ICO to date, like 120,000 unique individuals that bought into this. And then, so anyway, I had my questions, and then once I downloaded the wallet and all that stuff, which is running right here. Oh, what the hell? Let's see what's going on here. I don't know what happened to the wallet, but anyway, I'm running the wallet and all that stuff. But when I first popped it up, I was actually like blown away. I was like, what the hell? This is Monero Helium Hydra. And I was like, I realized that Electroneum was basically a clone of Monero, and they didn't even change a lot of the wording and stuff in the wallet and that kind of stuff. So the main things that they changed in the code were that the wallet addresses start with ETN, and basically that there's 21 billion coins instead of 18.4 million like there is with Monero. They changed the supply and changed the way the addresses are. And then I actually was like sleepy, went to bed, and I literally was tossing and turning and had a terrible time sleeping. Literally had nightmares. Here's me having a nightmare of Electroneum, that they raised $40 million to clone a coin. I was like, oh my God, like, will somebody please give me $40 million to clone a coin? So, I don't know. It was very upsetting and everything. And then when I got thinking about it more, I was like, well, let's think of the positives of this. Okay, they cloned a coin. Nobody goes to Ubuntu and says, you know what, you copied off of Debian. Or they don't go to all the distributions of Linux and say, you know what, you guys just keep copying. You guys are just using the Linux kernel. You guys aren't doing anything yourselves. Obviously, they're building on top of a proven platform. And so there's a lot of value in that. Obviously, they've saved a lot of time. They've saved years by working off of that. And they have, with Monero, you have such a good development team and a proven kind of workflow going on there that, they can sit there, and then when things are implemented over on Monero, they can make sure that it works, all that kind of stuff. And then they can implement it over on Electroneum. And then maybe more focus on the marketing of everything versus, and making it more user-friendly versus kind of the nitty-gritty with a lot of the cryptography and stuff. So one of the main turning points when I was thinking about this is suddenly I saw that David Hay, he put out a couple videos talking about Electroneum, and people were just attacking him like crazy. They were saying, you don't know what you're talking about. And David comes from an IT background similar to mine, sounds like he was kind of a network administrator type guy. So he, everything he said was actually along the same lines of the way I was thinking about it, where a lot of the white paper was basically just taking the information about CryptoNote and how the cryptography works, and then taking a lot of information that was kind of cookie cutter sort of stuff that was out there, maybe on Monero's webpage. And, and then it didn't seem like they were bringing anything new to the table except this simulated miner, which there was question marks of if it was going to work right, and it's not out in the first place. And then the coins from the ICO are locked up right now, and so those people haven't had access to them yet. So I kind of thought the same thing as him, but I saw the people just, downvoting him really hard and then defending Electroneum like crazy, and like a lot of non-technical people just saying stuff that didn't even make any sense. And I was like, wow, that's when I pretty much knew that it was gonna be you know, I kind of felt like it had that cult-like following, like an Apple product. You know, you ever seen like an Apple user who's just, maybe they've never used an Android device, but they just think that Apple's the best. And they actually think, some of them, and I've got an iPhone and I have an Android phone. And I'm more of an Android guy, but basically I'm not against Apple. It's just I've seen people that they'll think that since they have an iPhone that it's actually technologically superior to an Android device, and like that, almost like Androids are for like poor people and it's like a lesser thing or something, which is super weird to me. But anyway, you get that cult-like following with some of these brands like Apple, and I saw that with Electroneum, that people had really, really mentally bought into it. And we have 120,000 people who've bought into this. And I'm seeing people making videos from India. They're talking in Hindi. And there's people all over the world, you know, people in Eastern Bloc countries over in Europe talking about Electroneum. Like all these people from all over the place talking about it and getting excited about it. And that's when I knew that, technology aside, you know, they're going to have the money to market it and to get people excited about it. And if that phone wallet, you know, is decent at all, then I think that they can get pretty far with it. So that's when I was like, screw it. I'm just going to, you know, I'm going to pop this stuff up. I'm going to start mining on free cloud trials. And it's kind of funny, the Oracle Cloud gave me like 16 CPUs and like it was like 32 virtual cores, and I popped up a couple of those instances, Windows Azure, all these different things. But anyway, you know, I was mining on all these different clouds, and so some of the positives, it's actually positive that's a clone of Monero, just because there's a good code base and you don't have to rework all that, and you can just piggyback off of that development team. And they've got 40 million. If they need to hire a couple of Monero developers to sort of help implement this stuff, they're going to have more than enough money to do that. Effective marketing. I mean, it sounds like they're going to be, you know, getting celebrities marketing it, that kind of stuff. And I know it sounds stupid. It's like, what? Some people look at it and be like, we don't need that. That's not really have anything to do with the way the coin works or the technology, but just that's what people buy into. You know, people get excited over that stuff. You know, their cult-like following, you know, like the Apple products, like I said. And kind of the negatives, you know, it's cloning a Monero. So if we look back at this, it's kind of worrisome sometimes when look at all these clones of Litecoin. That whole situation was crazy. These were popping out like mad in 2013, 2014. It was absolutely ridiculous. But a lot of these, you don't know what they are. You never heard of them. You know, so sometimes being a clone can be dangerous. Sometimes being a clone can be effective. Now lately, the price, and we can check here on Cryptopia, has been sliding. Okay, there we go. So it's been sliding off. I think a lot of the miners who are mining with like, you know, big GPU farms, they're actually selling off, and they'll probably sell off to close to a penny. But then I think that there's a lot of people out online that might be like, well, I want to scoop this up. So I've already started my buys. Like this might go to a penny. It might go below. I don't know, but I didn't want to take the chance. So I mined 936 coins on the free cloud trials. And then I bought, this was just today, 5,000, or sorry, I bought like 4,000 whatever, and then it's all combining to be 5,092. But I'm starting my buys right now because here's what's happened to me in the past. Like you'll get excited about a coin or you believe in a coin and you're like, oh man, if it just gets down to this price, oh man, I'm just going to sell everything I own and I'm going to buy all in. So January 2015, Bitcoin crashed, and it crashed bad. It went clear down to $176 in January 2015, and it was terrible. And my friend and I were talking about it. It was like, oh man, if Bitcoin gets down to $100, man, I'm just selling everything. I'm all in. but it never got down to 100. So you never end up taking the position that you wanted to because you saw potential in the project. So, and same thing goes for a lot of other coins. You just, if you don't buy in, and the other one that it's kind of happening on is actually EOS. So, I mean, you see, well, I actually knocked all those out. That's why. Filter them on. So with EOS, you're kind of seeing a similar type thing where, you know, it got down to, what the heck? I still got a bunch of that stuff knocked out. But anyway, it got down to 50 cents and it kept sliding, got down to 50 cents. And I was buying the whole time, but now that it popped up again, and my most recent purchase was like at $1.15 a coin for EOS. But, you know, and then it pops up to 2. And then you worry. You're like, man, I want it to go back to 50. I want it to go back to 50 cents. You know, but it might not. So then it's like, well, you might as well just, you got to keep your buys. You got to keep going in. So that's what I'm doing with Electroneum. I started right now at 2.8 cents. And I want to get up to 20,000 Electroneum at a minimum. And then I honestly hope this thing goes to half a penny. And then I'll try to take a $100,000 position, or sorry, 100,000 coin position. And that's about the maximum I want to risk on the whole thing. You know, because I'm not buying the coins for tomorrow. I'm buying them, like I'm basically buying the coins for a year from now, 2 years from now, 5 years from now. And if you do it right, just like some of the people in Bitcoin, or any of these currencies, that if they bought up a lot of them at the low and then they never sell out of a core position, look, Dash just hit $600. It's absurd. These are some crazy times, guys. And if you're newer, be glad that you weren't here in 2015 because it was terrible. Everybody was exhausted. The prices weren't moving. It was just terrible. If you look back at the charts, it was just not good. So now that there's all this action, it's exciting and everything and super cool. But with Electroneum, I do see potential in it. I just see that cult-like following, and I just see people coming out of the woodwork to defend it, and people coming out with videos. I mean, it made me laugh. I mean, he's got 10,000 views on the video. You know, it came out November 16th. His prediction was $35 by March 2018. And then you see all the upvotes. Yeah, I agree. I even thumbs up that he made a good plausible explanation for it. Will it get up there? I don't know. You know, I mean, we could all hope or whatever, but I would say a reasonable thing that would be like a stretch goal could maybe be like $1 or whatever. But again, let's go back. Dash, I never would have thought that right now we'd be sitting here at $600. And it's all based off of marketing for the most part. I mean, I know they have Instant Send and they have some, it's not like they're just totally inept and they're not doing any kind of development, but all things being said, the fact that it's past Litecoin, I mean, Litecoin is on Coinbase. There's a lot more capital that can potentially spill into Litecoin versus Dash. So just because you're not on Coinbase, you know, doesn't mean that you can't, you know, get up there. Obviously, Bitcoin Cash is not on Coinbase. Monero's behind Litecoin, but Monero has a chance to overtake Litecoin as well. And they're not on Coinbase. So can Electroneum get up in this top 10? And you know, and be up there and succeed and stuff like that. And I think the answer is definitely yes. And let's say it goes to $1 or it goes to $2 or it goes to $5, then that's going to be awesome. But I'm going to put myself in a position that if it goes to 5 cents, if it goes to 10 cents, if it goes to 20 cents, if it goes to 50 cents, that I'm going to make money. And I think that there's a very, very good chance that that could happen. you know, and then going forward, let's say it does pop to 50 cents and I sell a little bit out or whatever, take some icing off the cake, you know, and then just never sell out of your core holdings. And that's what a lot of these people have done, that, you know, bought in a lot of Dash, bought in a lot of Monero, mined a lot of this stuff. They never sell out of that core holdings, never sell out completely. Always keep a core holding if you can. I know it's tough with bills and stuff like that, but try to keep a core holding and everything. But anyway, that's my basic thing. I'm, you know, I want to be realistic about Electroneum, but I am taking a position, and I don't take a position in tons and tons of coins. I research a ton of coins and research a ton of projects, and I'm telling you that most projects, there's 95% of stuff out there is a scam. And coming from an IT background, some of the stuff I can spot, it just sticks out like a sore thumb, and it's just like, oh my God, this is terrible. I don't get that with Electroneum, and out of all the ERC20 tokens that are out there that have no code base and it's just an idea and all that stuff like that, I can tell you Electroneum's light years ahead of that, because they actually have, the blockchain is running, the wallets are running, they've got the codes out there, people are mining it and all that stuff. And so that jumps it way ahead of all these other ICOs in my mind, and hopefully they get everything figured out in the next couple weeks with the wallets and stuff like that. And I think when that comes out, people are going to get really excited for it, and it could go parabolic. Maybe it shoots to 50, maybe it shoots to $1, $2, whatever. Tell me what you guys think. This is a longer talk, so I do apologize, but hopefully you guys found it interesting, and some of the kind of historical information of where Dash came from, being a fork of Quark and all that. So, you know, please subscribe, like the video, and then follow me on all social media at Brian Phobos. I'm at Brian Phobos on Steemit, Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, everything. So anyway, have a great day, and I'll see you guys later.